is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
It's been me and Garrett all week.
Holding it down.
All week. Pierre Newsham will be back next week. I can't tell you where he is or what he's doing. I know where he is or what he's doing, but it was if it's classified information.
Fair. That's a good way to put it.
If I tell anybody, he's got to kill me, kind of a thing. So I can't have that, Things are going well for me right now. This would be the worst time for me to get killed.
Yeah, you got a good streak going.
Yeah, I mean, things are going well. Like, outside of my sports teams being absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Like, absolute garbage. Like, right now, it's tough. It's tough. I hope I get to see the FSU Renaissance on Saturday.
You better hope there's an FSU Renaissance on Saturday.
I hope I get to see it, that they do it for me. I hope that happens. Because here's a friend of mine. I had breakfast with my friend John this morning, and he said, look, here's what you have to think, that SMU and FSU, they've never played before, right?
Right.
Never played. So because they've never played, SMU's going to see Peter Warwick and Charlie Ward and all that.
Right.
And not meet the moment.
I mean, I can see that.
I can see that. I think that hopefully they can do that behind the ghosts of the past.
Right.
And nobody notices what's going on now. But I won't feel good until they have a 500 record or better.
No, and I also think, like, if you're Rhett Lashley, you're definitely pushing the narrative of this isn't Warwick Dunn and Charlie Ward and them out there, and this is probably the one time you're looking at FSU being vulnerable enough for you to legitimately contend with. Well, I mean, that's not necessarily fair, because SMU could get things recruiting and rolling, but right now, this is your best opportunity to sneak up and get a win. And plus, I mean, if you get a win over them, is this the ACC opener, like the home opener for them?
Yeah.
So that sets the standard. That'd be awesome if you could pull that off for your SMU.
Yeah, this will be Florida State's fourth.
That is insane.
ACC game.
That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. They're already well into it. And this is what you get when you sue the league.
Yeah. Yep.
You're going to get a front-loaded schedule now. The Ireland thing came before the lawsuit, which I'll tell you this. Since they lost in Ireland, I don't think they should ever go back. That's it. Don't go back.
Just lick your wounds. Don't go back.
Don't go back. You got to go to Ireland. That's it. That's it. You got to go. But today on the program, we are going to talk about the Mountain West and the Pac-12 and how it is still a 7-7 tie with now UNLV and Air Force committing there. I, for one, thought it would be cool to see Air Force go to the American.
Right.
Just because then you have all the service academies in the same league. But whatever. It's not I'm like, whatever happens with this, I'm like, whatever. That's how I feel about it. But I am very intrigued by the tug of war. And then now they're both, since it's 7-7, where do they go now to get that 8 team that they both need? So, I've heard they're just going to go get UConn or what. The FCS, there's some FCS schools that we heard from the JY from Big Mountain. Like that, the Mountain West is more interested, maybe more interested in let's go get North Dakota State and South Dakota State and help them come up.
Earlier, about 30 minutes ago, I saw where San Jose or Sacramento State got approval for a new stadium in hopes of pushing them into the Pac-12.
Yeah.
They seem pretty adamant as one of the I would say they're your best chance of an FCS program stepping up, because they're already in California. They see that market opened up with Fresno hitting the door, and they really want in. I think if any FCS team comes up, it's definitely going to be them. I think it's weird how they're kind of more focused on the Pac-12 than maybe getting into the Mountain West and just making a move up in general.
Yeah.
But to each his own. I kind of get it. I mean, it makes sense if they're a California school wanting to be in the Pac.
We'll see, but they've got to get to 8.
Yeah.
They've got to get to 8. So how do they get there? What makes them happy? And what do the other 7 want? Do the other 7 want to wait on the 2 years or whatever it is to, transition from FCS to FBS, which I think the NCAA is going to have to maybe lighten up on some of those restrictions because of realignment now, and there might be some pressure. But who else do you go get? Where does New Mexico State go? Is Texas State has, here's the thing. It's never been a cooler time to be Texas State.
No.
You've got a fun coach and a fun offense, at least for right now, in GJ Kenny, and you're in Texas. Everybody else remains committed to their conferences. So UTSA, North Texas, all those are out of the pool, right? You can't go fishing there, but Texas State makes some sense for the Pac-12 or Mountain West.
It does.
So it makes more sense in those leagues to me right now than it does in the Fun Belt. And I love the Fun Belt, but if you're Texas State, maybe you want to go, I don't know how, maybe that Pac-12 could be good, or that, And the thing is, they have an advantage for both the Mountain West and the Pac-12 is that that gets them into Texas, which is a place they want to be. And it gets them into Texas in a football market, which, right there at 35 of Austin and San Antonio. El Paso is a really underlooked market.
I love El Paso.
Yeah, it's a really underlooked market, but it does not have the same recruiting hub that, say, Austin does.
No.
If you can go, say you're Boise State and you go play, because they're going to have to play on all kind of crazy nights. I would say, the Pac-12 and the Mountain West are going to be your Wednesday night conference.
Yeah,
with
on the CW or something.
But say you fly in on a Thursday to play Texas State and San Marcos, then you can go to Austin and San Antonio all day on Friday and hit up recruits. And to me, that's pretty invaluable when you're talking about trying to get into the talent pools of the country. So Texas State right now sitting in the catbird seat, according to Mike Craven. And I'm sure the Sun Belt doesn't want to lose them, but I do think that, it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. Or, here's the thing. They're either going to get a good deal in the Mountain West, a good deal in the Pac-12, or the Sun Belt will do what the Mountain West did by paying bonuses to Air Force and UNLV to keep them.
But outside of the short-lived little payment you would get if you're Texas State to go to one of those conferences, we don't even know if the Pac-12 even has a TV deal, so we don't know the full extreme outcome of this. But why else would you leave? If it's just a short little piece of money, but your chances to make the playoff are the same, what are you really benefiting here? Because to me, all this is just reshuffling Group 5 conference to Group 5 conference, and I don't see how it's really going to benefit or make your chances better to make a college football playoff if that's ultimately the end game of this.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to ever become a power conference again. It doesn't matter. So that's what throws me off with this.
Yeah, I think this is not going to make any of them better off to join it. To me, we asked John Wilner yesterday, why don't they just merge?
Yes.
Why don't you just merge?
You have the perfect, there was a list. You could have division 7 and 7. Yes.
7 to 7. Just merge.
I'm wondering if this is just a battle of who's going to be the commissioner or that's.
I don't know. But it is an absolute, but that's why it's so interesting to me. You have these two conferences that both want each other's schools or all this, and then the poaching and all these things. I mean, who could have, look at that. Didn't even use it. Hold on. There we go.
Okay.
Cough buttons.
Technology.
Yes. 50-year-old technology that we have finally, 19 years into my radio career, have I gotten to experience for more than just the 2 days I did shows in San Antonio. That was a mind-blowing thing to me that day. When I walked in and they're like, yeah, the cough button's right there. And I was like, oh, wow. And they're like, what do you mean, wow? I was like, never had them. Never had them before. What? Yeah, no. I have a owner that's, and look, we didn't have him in here because we just didn't. Like, we probably could have got him a long time ago.
No.
Didn't. That's on me and not the owners of this company. Should have just ordered some. $40 a piece. Not like they're breaking the bank. But yeah, does it make them bet? Like, does it make it better? Is it like? But to me, a 14-team league that's on par as the size of the American's going to have the inside track to the playoff most years.
Right.
I mean, I know that Oregon State and Washington State still have this belief that because they're in this, they'll be viewed better in the new conference.
Which is baffling because if they were viewed that way, they would be in a bigger conference.
Yes.
They wouldn't have been left behind.
Yeah. They didn't get left out on a technicality.
No.
That's the thing. And I'm all for them, like, getting their just desserts and getting all that they're due. And they're the biggest victims in all of realignment.
No, they are.
But, like, also you have to be realistic about what things are and where things are before you start getting into any of that, right? Like, and so that's where I think that, like, it just kind of goes off the path of maybe their administration is trying to hold on to an idea that, like, not really the majority of people share. Now, look, what I do agree with is if you're going to make a new conference, getting a school like Boise State is a really good idea. Getting San Diego State in is a really good idea. You know, doing those things is a really good idea. And building it out that way, I like that. I like that a lot. But if you're going, like, because people will respect the level of competition that's in that league. You know, we get to see a preview of it this weekend in Wazoo and Boise State in Boise on the blue turf this week. Like, that I think is going to be something that's really cool long term of rivalries, like with Boise State and San Diego State and the ones that are coming in. Now, where do you go from here to get that 8 team? Do you have to go and just take UConn football is independent right now?
Right.
You can have UConn football tomorrow. They can join your league tomorrow. Now, but do you want just UConn football? Like, if you're going to bring in Gonzaga, which I think eventually they'll do, well, then Gonzaga doesn't have football. So you're bringing them in for everything but football because you either make them create a football team, which they are not want to do, because if they did, they would have
had one already.
They would have one. And so if you're not going to get Gonzaga and Connecticut twice a year in basketball, then what are you even doing that for?
It's pointless.
So that everybody can fly, like half the teams every year can fly across the country to play one game at UConn?
Yeah, in a stadium that's like 40 miles away from campus? No.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Exactly. You can't.
But here's my thing. Like, I understand the concept of grabbing the best of the rest, per se, and putting them together in this league. But if you're still going to be viewed as a G5 league, to me, you would run the risk of doing like the Big 12 is, where you're beating up on each other because there's so much parity within that you run the risk of not having the best overall qualifying team record-wise to get into the playoffs. So you're kind of doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, you know, it's strange, right? It's strange, like, what they have to do. They have to make themselves as best as they can, but right now, what does that even mean? Like, how do you do that, and where do you go? And so Texas State could pick one or the other, right? Let's just say they pick the Pac-12. They want that. They want the name, right?
The brand,
they want the name. So then the Mountain West has to go and get somebody, and say they get
would
North
grab
Dakota
UTEP,
State,
yeah.
South Dakota State. They do the FCS route, and they bring some teams up. Okay, so then that's where that is. But I like, to me, it's just this is all very maybe feudal a little bit.
This is where I personally think the concept and idea of having the Group 5 having its own playoff would benefit it. And I think that's ultimately where this is going to go. I don't know how, maybe this is 10 years down the road, but that makes the most sense to me. I understand they want to be considered on the same level and they want to have the opportunity to get that money that you're going to get from the college football playoff. But at the end of the day, you're not going to win a national championship. And it's just, to me, why would you not just want to create your own thing? You're on level and you're on the same par with everybody financially, and you can make a run yourself, create your own championship, and then like make up the money on the back end with a basketball tournament by putting teams in there and having runs in March Madness. Like, that's to me an overall better opportunity for those programs, and it creates a legitimate better path to winning championships. Because I thought this was supposed to be about winning championships. It's turned into like money and show and everything else.
Yeah, if it's about winning championships, then merging's the best thing you can do. Like if it's really about that, if it's about increasing the TV value and covering more area and having those things, to me, merging's the best thing you could do. Because you've got 7 and 7, and you very much could easily rope in a Texas State if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Or someone else that's like, someone from the West Coast Conference of the WAC. Like you could get to 16 very easily in this regard. But right now you're both in a pissing contest over the 8th team.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem to be good. Like, I hope it works out for both. Like, none of these schools deserve to be in the desert they're in anyway, but that's the, oligarchy we've created in college athletics.
For real.
But I don't know. I don't know what to do. Or do you think that we're to the end, by the way, before we go to break, of the Matthew Sluka drama?
Man, I don't know.
Because, the collective came out last night and said, no, never had any dealings with her or promises on this. But, I mean, to me, it's kind of over now. Like, he's not going to play. I'm just curious to find out, who, what, when, where, why exactly this went down and why either side believed one thing or the other.
I mean, I think, it's going to be intriguing to finally hear the truth of what came from it. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter at this point. Like he's gone. He's not going to play there anymore. UNLV can move on. I just think it sucks for everybody, really UNLV, because that game, if this was on Sluka's end, and I don't understand why you would even put this out there if you knew your agent wasn't licensed to conduct business in the state. That makes you look bad in the first place. I was kind of starting to yesterday when this came out, I was like, okay, pro player, but the more information's coming, I'm kind of leaning more towards UNLV in this, and I'm really looking forward to the outcome of it. But no, I don't think it's over by any means. It's over on the field, but definitely going to getting started in the courtroom.
Yeah, for sure. When we come back, Garrett and I are going to go through some of the big dogs this week. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm going to pick up our 10 pick'em games.
Okay.
You and I will reveal our picks for the 10 pick'em games this week, and I will put that link in the chat in case you have not, to this point, signed up for the pick'em.
Shame on you if you haven't.
Oh, what are you doing with your life?
Exactly.
I don't get it. I don't get it. What do you have to do that you're so important? Are you saving sick kids? Are you like a firefighter or, animal shelter person?
Animal shelter people.
I don't know. What do you have to do that's so freaking important that you cannot jump on our pick'em and do it? I mean, the self-importance of some people.
I know.
And unawareness of they shouldn't be talking themselves up like they're so badass.
Yeah.
Our pick'em contest is the best thing that's ever going to happen to you in your whole life. And I don't know why people would say that's an exaggeration.
It's not. With that Texas Wagyu, man.
Yeah.
That's where you go.
Here's the thing. How many pick'em contests can give you $100 of Wagyu beef if you win it?
Not many.
I think we're the only one.
Probably.
So all the other ones that give you something like cash can just suck it. All right? That's, look, cash is fleeting. And yes, you might say, as soon as I eat the beef, it's gone. But you have the memory. And memories you can take with you for a lifetime.
You can.
Or until you get some sort of disease that wipes them away from you. That's the best part about memories. So, you're either going to have them for a lifetime or they're going to go away.
Yep.
But at least live in the moment of damn, that's a really good steak. This is as American as a pick'em contest can get.
It really is.
It is football and beef. Come on. There's the link. We come back right after this.
365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
In just a second, I will we'll go through, and Garrett and I are going to pick the games this week. And we'll probably do a little bit of a shorter show today, more in the 40 to 45-minute range, just because
got stuff to do.
Because we got stuff to do. Gives me more time to eat my lunch too. I don't have to hover over it like I just got rescued from a mountain and scarf it down. But here's something to mention. Next month in Nashville, Tennessee, according to a column by Ross Dellinger, the SEC and Big Ten are going to meet and discuss the future of college athletics.
Damn, who saw that coming?
All these things. No one else is invited.
No need to.
These are things like, I get it, like they're the ones who have the biggest movers and shakers, but the more they have meetings without everybody else, the more I get concerned. Whether that is founded or unfounded remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand it. Like, and if they want to be the drivers of the ship for this new wave, that's cool. But you need to include your mark and Jim Phillips as long as you are a power 4 and not a 2. Like, until you break off, everybody needs to be included in this.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense for you to be making decisions that look out for everybody and they have no say in it. That's stupid.
Well, look, here's the thing. This is to where they get their ducks in a row and then take it to everybody else, and then they negotiate. Because the thing, and you see this in big negotiations. The NFL players, every time that there's the threat of a labor stoppage or it's time for a new CBA, always get one of the silly things they want and give up something to the owners where you're like, well, that wasn't a good idea, and then they got to wait till the next CBA to fight it. But the owners are like willing, like you get what the owners were probably willing to give you and then pretended like they weren't.
Yeah, they stay two steps ahead.
So that the thing that they absolutely don't want you to have, you can't have.
Yep.
And that's where, so last year when all of a sudden Greg Sankey, who said he didn't want automatic qualifiers, right? Remember he said, no, we don't want
that.
automatic qualifiers. Like we don't want guaranteed spots. We don't want that. Because Greg Sankey knows. He knows that if you have automatic qualifiers, so that means you have to give everybody at least 2 and 2 conferences 3, that means that he's never going to get 7, which he aspires to, because look, here's the thing. There's power 4. If everything went the SEC's way, they could have 7 teams. The Big Ten could have 1. The Big 12 could have 1. The ACC could have 1. And the G5 or Notre Dame gets 1.
And I understand where people
granted, the most they'll probably ever have is 6.
Yeah.
But he knows that the only way that he can have half the field in a field of 12 is that there's not guaranteed spots for everybody else, because then that makes it an invitational. But then all of a sudden you heard this proposal for guaranteed spots. Well, that was not what they wanted. What they wanted was a larger share of the television revenue, and then the other ones had to agree to that, so they backed off of we have to have 3 teams apiece, and you guys can have 2.
Right.
And they're like, whoa, why do you guys get 3? And, like this, no, that's not, we can't have that. We can't have that. Or we get 2 apiece, and you guys definitely get 1. Well, no. That was never going to happen. No. Greg Sankey wasn't even in favor of it. Because if he's only going to get 2, then he can never get 6.
Yeah, it's pointless.
So that's what he wants. All part of his master plan. If you watch the top 5 yesterday, and the best part is no one can stop me, this is part of it. So right now he's got 6 of the top 7 teams in the top 25. By the end of the year, that won't be the case, but he'll have
about 4.
He'll have 4 of the top 5 or 6, right?
At least.
And he'll have probably 5 of the top 12 teams, and the 5th team's the one who's not going to make it because of the automatic bid for some other conference champion. Like the G5 representative's going to knock out the bottom SEC one, right?
Yep.
So if there's 6, then, like that 6th one's going to get nicked. But he would still have 6 teams that would be in the top 12, which is what he wants, right? So those negotiations are going to happen. And the thing is that if the SEC and Big Ten are on the same page about what they want as far as keeping the corner on the market, then when those other things come up, they can throw out their ridiculous proposals that are never going to happen. And then they're like, okay, look, what do we have to agree to so you guys back off of this stupid thing?
Yeah, just get them to shut up.
Yeah. Because here's the other thing. You can dare them to walk into the fire, and they'll both do it.
Hell yeah, they will.
Because they have nothing to lose.
No.
Like that's where these kind of things scare me a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot of bit.
I mean, they're going to break off. It's coming. It's just a matter of time, honestly.
I feel. Can I tell you? I feel bad about something I've done the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I get tagged in these Realignment Twitter threads.
Oh God.
And then like I'll wake up in the morning and I have like 36 tweets to read, so I just leave the conversation.
I do that in text messages all the time.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if it's over. I have no time for that.
Okay. I mean, I know people are nice enough to watch the show and follow me and all that stuff, and like putting me on the thread. I'm flattered. I really am. I can't keep.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Like, I need it. I need to be like the chief of staff needs to come to me and like, here, this is a summary of what they said.
Exactly.
I would love to have a chief of staff. That to me is the best part about being president to me is 1, the plane, 2, having a chief of staff. Because like the chief of staff, you're like, all right, Jenkins, I need you to go, and I'm calling him by his last name. President Paul has chief of staff, his name Jenkins. His name's let's just call him Frank Jenkins. Frank Jenkins is my chief of staff, and I'll call him Frank when it's serious.
Yeah.
Like, Frank, we need to get Putin on the phone. This is untenable. And then he'll be like, oh, yes, sir. He'll know I'm being serious. But then I'll be like, Jenkins, look, I don't need the labor pains. I just want the baby. I've got a lot of things to do. Okay? Like, boil it down for me. That's what I want. Jenkins! And then Jenkins, here's the thing. What Jenkins does, Jenkins walks out and he's like, Simmons, Rodriguez, Hampton. The president needs these things. Stat. And then, like, those people give them to me. And then, like, thanks, Rodriguez. One day you're going to be Jenkins. I'll tell you that right now.
One day you'll step it up.
That's how it works in the Paul Catalina administration. That and bidets for everybody.
Clean house, man.
Believe me. Here's the thing. Here's my slogan for 2028. Paul Catalina, we're going to clean house and clean your ass.
Love it. I'm all for it, man.
Yeah. I'm giving you an optimistic version of America. I am ending hemorrhoids and diaper rash and all that stuff. I am the president who's going to bring you the end of hemorrhoids. Think about that.
I mean, that sounds like a relief.
You hear any of the candidates this year talking about the hemorrhoid epidemic? No. This guy.
No more sitting on pillows.
Exactly. If you want to sit on a pillow, you sit on a pillow just because you want to, not because you have to. All right, let's get into the pick'em.
Already.
All right, so our picks this week. And Garrett, have you submitted yours yet?
I have. I'm looking at them right now.
Okay, so let's start out with Oklahoma State and Kansas State. Garrett, as you are the producer and the reason this show gets on the air every single day, I will give you the first pick.
I'm rolling with Kansas State.
So am I.
I think last week was just one where that doesn't happen to that program hardly ever. And I don't see them not coming out and responding in a positive way after that happened to them. That was flat out embarrassing. What BYU was able to do to K-State was remarkable. Hats off to the Cougs, but that was not Wildcat football. When you look at Oklahoma State, they're good, but Ollie Gordon still hasn't gotten rolling. I still don't trust Alan Bowman. I think you're looking at a game where Avery Johnson has a bounce back, and we see him actually get some work done with his arms against this Oklahoma State defense, who really hasn't found themselves since losing Oliver earlier on in the year. I just think this is one where if it was in Boone Pickens, I would probably lean Oklahoma State, but the fact that it's up there in Kansas State and in the Little Apple, man, I got to ride with K-State.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma State has more defensive problems than
they
K-State does. Neither of these teams are quite as good as I think we thought they were going to be.
I think Oklahoma State's about what we thought they were going to be. I think Kansas State's more the disappointment.
Well, as far as disappointment goes, but
I mean, for their standard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Yeah, at least to this point so
Right.
far. Yeah. All right, USF at Tulane. This one, man, I went back and forth. I think USF has the better quarterback right now, although I'm not seasoned at Tulane. They're both 2-2. I'm going to roll with the Bulls here, although I don't feel great about it.
I'm with you, and I took South Florida because their resume is ridiculous of what they have gone through. They pushed Bama in that game, really the whole first half. The Tide were able to open it up in the second half there. and then playing Miami, that's Tulane they've played good people. You play K-State. But that's just different what they've done, what they've seen with the Bulls. I like Alex Golish a lot. I think he's an excellent coach. I think this is going to be a fun matchup and a really good back and forth game, but I'm going to ride with USF.
A&M and Arkansas, the last of these games that we played at the neutral site at Jerry World. Thank God. I would do this once every 10 years if you wanted to keep doing it.
Maybe, but it's pointless.
Just so the fans in Dallas of both these schools can it's easy to get to. But these things are better on home campuses.
Yes.
College football is meant to be played on college campuses. That's what's great about it. You know what's around Jerry World, another stadium and a big hotel.
Yeah, and a Walmart.
A Walmart and an amusement park. That's all well and good, but that's a pro sports thing.
Yeah.
I want to go, when I go to College Station or Fayetteville, I want to, if I'm an alum, I want to go to my favorite bar and get a drink before all the kids get there. Believe me, there's nothing that'll make you feel quite as old as walking into your favorite bar from when you were 22 at 7 p.m. and it's just you and other 40-year-olds.
Right.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Class of 02, class of 05. Ah, ha, ha, ha. You guys aren't going to hang out until 11:30 when everybody actually gets here? Oh, no.
That's bedtime, buddy.
I've been asleep for an hour at that point.
That's my life. That's my life.
No. We're going to go here. We're going to take pictures here. It's dark outside, so people will think it's late.
It's the perception.
We're gonna make sure it's a tight photo. A tight photo. Not out so you can't see anybody's there.
Right.
Make sure the other 40-year-olds are there, bunch up.
Yeah, just
bunch up and be at the bar. Oh, man.
It's packed.
Yeah, Popeyes or whatever it is. Not Popeyes. One Eyes is packed. It's packed at 7:22 p.m.
Woo.
Make sure you take the timestamp off your thing. So we have the college dive bar here in Waco is called Scruffy Murphy's.
Never been in it, but I've driven by it a few times.
Yeah. So when Smokey first got here, Scruffs invited him to come by. And so he went after the show at 6:30.
He's the only dude in there.
So we went, he's like, you coming? I'm like, I would like to see Scruffs at 6:30 before all the urine hits the floor. Yeah. And so I went into and the thing is, it was just me and Smokey and people who should have been in rehab.
Oh my God.
The kind
it's like the people that cry and shame at 6 a.m.
Yeah. If you ever left your credit card at a bar and had to go get it, and then you walk in and the same people are sitting at the bar,
yes.
Didn't I just leave you here when I left it, left my credit card accidentally? That's those people. You're oh man. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, we have a bar called the Cry and Shame here, which is the most aptly named bar you have ever gone to. Because it is absolutely
brutal.
A crying shame.
Yes.
It is.
Rough.
Oh, man. And not rough in fights or anything.
No, but it's
the sad
bad.
bar.
Yeah.
It's where you go when you've given up.
Yes.
But A&M and Arkansas, I'll take A&M in this one. I think it'll be a good game. I think that Arkansas is going to be able to move the ball a little bit. Mm-hmm. But A&M's defense is really good with Mike Elko there. And I think Marcel Reed's just fun. And I know we're going to be this week to week on the quarterback thing, but I'm telling you right now, as long as they keep winning with Marcel Reed's going to be the guy.
I mean, that's kind of the trend we're seeing right now. But at the same time, I'm going with A&M as well. And it might bite me. I hate picking the Aggies. I like Taylor Green a lot. I think that Arkansas's offense can be fun when they're firing on all cylinders. And I know they got that win last week over Auburn, but I'm with you on this. I think A&M's defense is ultimately going to be the difference, so I'm going to ride with the Aggies.
Yep. By the way, Retired Stockbroker says Paul Catalina, the bidet candidate of the future. Preparation 8 does not endorse or support him. I don't need their money. I don't want their money.
They're coming for your knees, man.
Yeah. You know what?
They're coming for your knees.
Yeah. I'm going to make life harder for you.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Preparation H. You won't need it if you're clean. All right. Colorado at UCF. This is Big Noon. Like, Big Noon hasn't gotten to ride the Dion train this year.
Nope.
So now they get to go. They rode the Dion train for like the month,
Yeah,
right?
they took the whole damn first start of the season
They need
last
their
year.
fix. Big Noon needs their prime fix. So on the road at UCF at Memory Mall, going to look really cool. Like, I'll tell you right now, that is going to look cool. That is going to look really, really cool because of the scene they have there at UCF. It just like goes right, basically, if you just drew a straight line out of the back entrances of the stadium, straight down the way is just some of the best tailgating I've ever seen in my life.
I know the pictures looked awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Like, it's great. I'm going to try to find a way to get to UCF about every other year, I think. Like, if I can get there again, it's just a fun place to be. It's just a fun place to be. And they've done a great job there. That being said, Colorado will get some shots in. They'll score some points on this UCF defense, I'm sure. But I think ultimately they will not be able to stop this run offense. And the line is 14.5 right now. I don't know if that's gonna be the difference, but I do think that UCF will be able to run the clock out on this game quite a bit because, everybody came away impressed with the improvement on Colorado's defensive line last week against Baylor, which I would caution you that this is not like this is the big leagues when it comes to running the ball and what Gus Malzahn has going on there at UCF. So yeah, I'm taking UCF in this one comfortably.
I'm going to take the Knights as well. I think they kind of play keep away from Colorado's potent offense. I think that's a smart approach because defensively, I don't think they can match up with the superstar talent that Colorado has. I honestly think this could, if Colorado could keep things going, they could make this interesting because I think they could score on UCF. But I just, that rushing attack, like you said, I think that's too much for Colorado's defense to handle. I think they're going to get pushed around in the trenches a little bit. So I'm going to roll with the Knights.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I think it's be comfortable.
But I mean, that's big game for Dion going back to Florida. Like, and Travis Hunter and being able to recruit and use that. That's an interesting pull.
He was a candidate at USF as well before he went to Colorado. And look, I'm sure he had some thought of like this Colorado roster is terrible. Had it been the old rules, I'd have gone to USF before Colorado.
Yeah.
Like, there had not been, like, massive transfer portal where you could
just bring in and
clear
overhaul.
out. I would have gone to probably USF at that point. Like, this is the worst FBS roster in the country. Like, I'm confident in my abilities, but let me go here to USF where I can just go, like, oh, I'm in the hotbed of talent. I'm one of the most famous people ever from this state. Like, here we go. Like that he would have gotten an SEC job if he wanted USF, like, faster to me.
Probably. Or Florida State.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen now. Nope. I'm not holding out hope for it, and I don't care. So I like where Florida State's at coaching wise.
Yeah, I would take Norvell over Dion.
Yeah, I think we set unrealistic expectations this year. I'm a part of that. I realize.
Y'all all should be.
Yeah. Kansas and TCU. By the way, there's no signed contract to play at Arrowhead.
No.
I think, Garrett, it's going to work out because they are paying a Jayhawk on the field right now. So, but this is going to be one of those, like, 11th hour deals where, like, okay, here we're down to the agreement. But they have not, like,
just
this
sign
is months
some
and months of
paperwork.
negotiating this. They have not signed the contract yet.
That's pointless. Like, sign it. If you're going to talk about it and you're going to put it out there, make sure you have a written contract.
They don't sound all that worried about it on either side. Like, I think the issue seems to be insurance, but I'm sure they'll get it worked out. Again, the Chiefs clearly think it's, like, going to get worked out because they're penning a Jayhawk in the middle of the field right now, and it's too late to make them go somewhere else. Now, if they have to go back to Sporting KC for the next home game and go, all right, same deal, that might be. I'm kind of surprised that it wasn't flipped. 2 games at Arrowhead and most at Sporting KC.
That would have made more sense.
Well, just because of the
smaller, you had the
smaller. You can fit are they going to fill up Arrowhead? I hope so.
I don't know, man.
But yeah, I'm going to take Kansas in this one because of they're not traveling. But I have no whatever team I picked here, I have no faith in this pick. I'm almost expecting if I picked the other one, it would go the other way. So I'm chalking this one up to I'm going to get it wrong, but I'm picking Kansas right now.
So I'm kind of right there with you, but I'm going with TCU. I think that their defense is kind of a hot mess right now, but I like what Josh Hoover's doing. I think he's the better quarterback in this matchup. I do not trust Jeff Grimes as an offensive coordinator. I think that's what's going on with that Kansas offense is abysmal. So I'm going to ride with TCU in this to get a bounce back dub.
All right, you convinced me. I'm changing my mind. Yeah.
I can't do it, man. That losing Koloniki was so massive.
Yeah, I'll go with TCU to bounce back, although that was chaotic last week.
Yes.
And they certainly let you, I don't know if they let UCF beat them twice, but they didn't get over it.
They definitely probably did.
Yeah, and then SMU comes in with an attitude.
That was personal for the Ponies.
Yeah, it was very personal.
That was personal.
Very personal. OU against Auburn. I know that Oklahoma rolling out Hawkins this week and all that, people will be nervous. I have no faith that Auburn's going to get anywhere close to a bowl game at this point, and I would be willing to bet that after last week, Hugh Freeze has lost a good chunk of that locker room. Mm-hmm. And, man, Hugh, I don't care for Hugh Freeze because I
thought it was a terrible hire. This is why I didn't think it was a good hire. You knew this stuff was going to happen.
Well, because I think he's a phony.
Yes.
He can go back. Here's the deal. When Jamie Chadwell finally gets his rightful position, maybe at Auburn, I don't know, but at the Power 4 level, then he can just go back to Liberty, that's where he needs to be.
Yeah, that would be that seemed like the perfect fit for you, Freeze.
Yeah.
Liberty.
Yeah.
I'm going with Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm going to Oklahoma. Auburn, he hates their quarterbacks, even though he brought him in. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be the guru. Yeah, no, I have no qualms about picking Oklahoma in this game on the road, even as wonky as they've been. They're in a much better spot as a team collectively than Auburn is. Yeah.
I also think it benefits Oklahoma playing one of the better teams in the SEC last week, especially on defense and in the trenches, where Auburn's still going to be big. They're still going to be good, but they're not on par with Tennessee. No. And, so I think that's another edge where you can kind of look at Oklahoma in this matchup. And they need a good win. And this would be a great way to go and get that first up in the SEC.
Yep. Louisville and Notre Dame in South Bend.
Man, I kind of feel about this one the way we were talking about the A&M Arkansas or UCF Colorado. This could go either way for me. I picked Louisville, and I'll probably regret this pick because it just feels like one of those games where Notre Dame would win. It's in South Bend, but I'm still going to ride with Louisville and the hot Cardinals right now.
I'm going to take Notre Dame. I'm taking Notre Dame in this one.
They'll probably win. I'll probably regret this one, but
what?
I'm probably going to regret this. But
I think Mike Denbrock. Here's what makes Mike Denbrock good. He tried to do some things with Riley Leonard he thought he could do. Mm-hmm. They didn't work.
He adjusted.
He said, "All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to run Riley Leonard. We're going to run Love. We're going to do we lost this Northern Illinois game. I'm not going to spend time he's not going to be Hugh Freeze and blame it on everybody else." Okay, what are we going to do well, and what's going to win for us?
Right.
And he did that. That's what he did quarterback to quarterback at LSU. That's what he's done over his career. You can try to run your stuff. You have a little window of trying to run your stuff, but the minute it's ineffective and causes you to lose, that's when the smart coaches go, okay, whoa. Mm-hmm. Scrap this. Yeah, Marcus Freeman went from, when he lost to Northern Illinois, people will he be the most sought-after defensive coordinator in the country? Next year, whoa.
No.
Pump your brakes.
No.
But he would be.
I don't know.
Look, if he gets fired at Notre Dame, if he got fired at Notre Dame.
Some other people might
like
be available too.
Yeah, what?
Some other people might be available too.
Yeah, but he'd be one of like he's on par with that.
Correct.
Right? Like that's
fair.
what yeah.
That's
I
fair.
know, well, I know we all know who you're talking about,
Yes.
Garrett. You don't have to drive far to get to his office.
No, do not.
But we'll finish with Bama and Georgia. We'll do that one last. Utah and Arizona. Utah.
Yeah,
I think this will be a better game than Utah's maybe seen all year because of the quarterback wide receiver combo, but they're just better.
I don't, man. Like, I think outside of that, like, Arizona has nothing. And I think that Utah's defense has the bullies up front to get and rattle Fafita. I think they have the experience of playing this offense before, so they're not going to have that. Arizona's not going to have that advantage they've had over teams that they played so far from the Big 12 that haven't seen them. I think this is one where Utah just cruises, honestly. But I'm interested to see, does Cam Rising come back and play? And if not, can we see Isaac Wilson take another step forward as he's done the past opportunities he's had?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Wazoo at Boise State.
This could be one of the best games of the weekend.
Yeah, it's 9:00 Saturday night.
I will pass out and miss it.
I'll still be in Dallas, so maybe I'll watch it on my phone on the way back.
Yeah.
So we're not staying overnight in Dallas now because our friends aren't coming. So the condition for us not staying overnight, Amanda wanted to be back at home, was that I don't have to drive back. That was my negotiation.
So you're gonna make her drive?
Yes, she has said she'll drive.
Okay.
And I will tell you, when it comes to her and I in the car at the same time, the score is Paul 1,000,000, Amanda 4.
She's not a good driver?
No, she just doesn't like to drive. She's fine driving.
That's how my wife is. She doesn't like to drive
driver.
either.
They just didn't want, like, she has just decided, here are the old-fashioned things that I will say. The man has to do this and hope that I, as a man, go, you know what? You're damn right. But it's not everything.
Right.
So, no. Like, as a very progressive man, more power to the ladies, I'm fine with them driving.
Yeah, take it. Have at it.
I'm fine. Like, fine. I don't love driving enough to do that, but I drive most of the places that we go.
I do too.
Yeah. I mean, and when I say most, it's not like 60,
like 95%.
I'm like 99%.
Yeah.
I have to be zonked drunk for her. So, like, that's only happened like twice in our whole relationship. Twice. Although I will say this, it flips when we're back in Nashville.
Oh, she's more comfortable.
Well, because she knows where she's going.
Yeah.
But that's like, doesn't count because we're in her city.
Yeah.
So, anyway. And finally.
Who are you picking?
Oh, who am I picking? Wazoo.
I'm taking Boise.
Well, you taking Boise?
I'm taking Boise. I like Ashton Jeanty a lot, and Wazoo's probably going to get them, man. But I'm going to ride with the Broncos.
I'm going to take Wazoo and John Mateer. That's who I'm picking.
Not a bad pick.
Yeah. All right, Georgia and Alabama. Garrett, who you got?
Roll Tide.
I'm taking the Tide too. Jalen Milroe's hot.
He's good.
He's hot. They've got young wide receivers making plays all over the place. They can run the ball. Kalen DeBoer is going to take some chances.
Georgia's vulnerable, man. Like they're beat up a little bit in the trenches,
especially along the offensive line. They've got a lot of injuries
beat up
right now. Yeah, Georgia's a little vulnerable right now.
They don't have the playmaker. Like they have playmakers, but they don't have like multiple reliable playmakers that they had like the past couple of years.
How pissed off are SEC fans going to be if Kalen DeBoer, the year after Saban, just has them right back where they were before?
Oh my God, very. That
Saban
would be
retiring
so
was supposed
frustrating.
to be the reprieve, and to this point,
they haven't missed a beat.
I've seen no reprieve.
It's changed a little bit, but the mindset is there. The culture is there.
When there's no more Saban players left, I guess we'll see that.
Yeah, that would be interesting because that would be like the TCU Sonny Dykes thing because we got that little window, and then now we're kind of seeing where it is.
Yeah. So I'm taking Bama at home, and that's the first chaos we get at the top.
Yep.
All right, I said 45 minutes. We've gone 50.
Hey.
So there we go. Bonus 5 minutes. And you can thank my tangent on being the bidet president.
It's always the bidets.
The thing is, you start the election prep at the end of the other one, right?
Correct.
So we're towards the end of this election. if I want to stand a chance in 2028, my push has to start now.
Get your ducks in a row.
Yeah. If we want the Bull Moose party, like that's Bull Moose, Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah. If we want the Bull Moose to come back, then, we were built on things like football and nature and bidets and uniform chip bags, uniform microphone settings.
Yes, microwaves.
No more crumbs and chip bags. If you want crumbs, you make them.
Yes.
You don't buy crumbs. You hear that? Big chip still coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to do it for us today. We've got Kalani Sitake on the show. We have Sam Khan on the show. We have Max Olson on the show. And we have Mickey Spagnola on the show. So going to be fun throughout. Plus Pod 4, Utah, BYU, Arizona State, and Craig Smokes Off the Radar, my top 5. So long, everybody.